Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back. Brennan again. In the car outside the gym, I'm about to go do some deadlifts, and I thought I'd share a pre-workout Pop-Tart with you. Now, for those of you that are Pop-Tart connoisseurs, you know that these are the wild berry kind. I hadn't had these before, so I bought a box, and I probably will not be buying another one because these really don't tickle my fancy, although other things do. So I'm not going to be going with these. They're all right, but they're just not for me, and I always eat them cold. I don't heat them up. Quick and easy and to the point, so you might say they're better heated, but for me, these are not a buy, so I do not recommend these. I also have my little pre-workout here, so we're having quite the dinner date, if you will. This is actually some BSN NO Explode, which I have laying around. I think it's the cherry limeade flavor. It's funny because the other day when I put up this video where I was using some Promera stuff, I had mentioned that I was all out of Citadel Nutrition Tier 1, and they'd actually watched this and saw it and said, dude, why didn't you tell us? We'll send you some more. And the reason I didn't tell them is because they usually do a pretty good job about sending me some every other month or so. They usually send me like 2 or 3 tubs worth. So normally that's plenty to get through about a month or 2 month span. However, what I did recently was actually I sent a tub out to Max Tuning, so you're welcome Max, and also a tub out to Christian Guzman. So what's up Christian? I think he's over in the UK at Body Power right now. And I did that only because I thought that they would unbox it on their channel. Not to mention they said they were interested in trying it. So it would give Citadel some exposure, and it definitely did, but I just did that out of my own personal stash. I didn't want to ask Citadel to send them stuff just because they're already been really great to me in terms of sending me some stuff, and I thought I'd just kind of return the favor, so that's why I ran out early, and I didn't feel right asking for more, but they were like, dude, it's not a problem anytime, just let us know. And no, before you all ask in the comment section, I will not send you some. Go and buy it, please. Support them. They're a great company. I don't have a discount code because I'm not monetarily incentivized by them, but still, I really support what they do. So, now that I've been rambling for a little bit, some other things I'll update you guys on is this lens I'm using, you guys probably know is a wide angle lens, and I've been using it for the last couple of videos. And although it's been really nice because I can literally set this up an arm's length away, it probably won't focus because I'm way too close, but I can really set this up an arm's length away and film with me. So that's why I've been trying to include some of these vlogs in the videos. And I've liked to do that only because I find that sometimes workout videos just by themselves get pretty redundant. So I'm gonna try to spice it up a little bit, include you guys more in what I do on a day-to-day life. And this lens has really helped, but to be honest, I really hate the distortion because although it allows you to shoot at these wide angles, and I'm actually pretty zoomed in right now, this particular one is a Tokina 11 to 16 millimeter, and that's not really an accurate gauge of what it does, only because this crop sensor, you have to multiply that each number times 1.6. So it is a zoom lens in a sense. I have my main prime lens, which I believe it's a 30 or 35, I don't remember. But I'm gonna be returning this only because I can't deal with the distortion. You really see it when you get outside in some of these. So you have like this big, huge hand, a little head, big head. So I'm gonna play around with this. I'm gonna return this particular lens, but I have another one that I've used in the past that I'll probably be using, which is I think an 18 to 35, so that should kind of give me the best of both worlds. I might just hang on to my prime lens for the headshot videos, but we'll see how that goes. But want to just update you guys, and I posted that on Instagram, so if you guys don't follow me there and you want to see some other insights besides these vlogs that I'll be doing, Instagram is a good way to do it because I just kind of post random things that I probably wouldn't make in videos otherwise. So I'm gonna get to these Pop-Tarts and this BSN NO Explode, and then we're gonna get to the deadlifts. All right, so as I said earlier, today was deadlift day, and the first working sets of pulls from the floor called for 2 sets of 505 pounds for 5 reps each. Now you can see here I'm going sockless, which is interesting because this is typically where you'd want to wear long socks, but gotta keep you guys on your toes. And I'm also using my Reebok CrossFit Lite TRs. I get that question a lot. Now actually last week when I was training in Seattle and I was training beltless, I decided to go ahead and use my Addy Powers for deadlift. And the gym I train at in Seattle also has a deadlift bar, and I have to say it felt really good. So I was really tempted to use my Addy Powers today, although I think part of that is getting the whip out of the bar with those deadlift bars and not being able to do it with this one, so I'm not sure it would have really transferred over as well. Now here you see my second set of 505, and these felt okay. They felt pretty heavy, but then again, that's okay with me because I still managed to get all the reps. And I think if I was doing my own training, one of the things I was really kind of doing myself a negative with is going too heavy for all of these sets. So I'm glad that Dan scaled it back. So this is still hard, but the fact that I get all reps feels pretty good.
Now next from there we moved on to deficit deads, and these were done from roughly about a 3.5 inch deficit, just using a bumper plate here. My gym unfortunately doesn't have any actual blocks to pull from, and that would be nice, but can't have it all. So the first set here is 385, and the goal was to get 5 reps. One of the things I'm really trying to do here is get low when I pull, so you see a lot more knee bend than I usually have, and that's because typically what I was doing too often is keeping my legs fairly straight, so I was doing more of a stiff-legged deadlift, which I don't want to do because I actually have to do that after this exercise. So the second set here was a 405, so we bumped the weight up by 20 pounds. You see a little bit different of an angle here. You also see a very rare tank top for me, and I used to be known for my jerseys, but been really putting those things away lately, so I decided to go ahead and break it out because it's been extremely hot. Now for my last working set of deficit pulls, it's 425. Again, the goal here was to get 5 reps. And again, you can see some of the benefits here of having this very wide-angled lens. You get a large view of the gym, which you guys might not have been able to see before, so this makes me look even smaller. But these all felt really light and really easy, so that was definitely a plus. Now from here, we then moved on to, as I mentioned, stiff-legged deficit deadlifts. Almost tripped over myself there. And the goal here was to get 8 reps. So 3 sets total, 8 reps each. You're only seeing the first set here of 315. From here, we then bumped up to 335 and then 355 for sets of 8. And I gotta tell you, by this point, I was spent. It was really hard for me to get through these, but we managed, even though I thought I might kind of fall over and have a heart attack. Now, of course, if you ever want to see all the reps and all the sets in number form, you can always follow me in Fitocracy, which I always link in the description box below, and that'll give you a better idea of everything that I did. Now from there, I moved on to weighted chin-ups, and it just called for 2 sets of between 6 to 8. I only used 25 pounds here because, again, as I mentioned, I was very fatigued at this point. However, you can see I'm using something known as the Brute Belt, and this is another thing that I posted on Instagram, and I will be doing a review on this. It's a dip belt, but I'm using it here for weighted chin-ups, and I gotta say it was very comfortable, so you should see a review on that coming up soon. Speaking of reviews, you'll also see a review on those lockjaw collars I've been using. They held up very well today, which was interesting because I wanted to see how they would do with heavy weights and deadlifts, and they definitely held up to the test. Now the last exercise we did was just some bent over dumbbell rows, 3 sets of 15 reps each. I kept the weight static here at 90 pounds and only are showing the first set.
Alright, so I just got back from the gym and I'm gonna have some lunch. Now I didn't have many food at my house really, and I didn't feel like stopping at like Subway or another type of restaurant. A lot of people like Mexican. So I just really quickly ran to the grocery store and got some really quick stuff. And what I got is a plain bagel, and I got 8 ounces of Boar's Head Evan roast. Evan roast. You probably don't want to eat a roast of Evan, but Ever roast turkey, so 8 ounces of that. I put some spinach and some spicy mustard on there as well, so I have a sandwich. I also got this True Moo low-fat chocolate milk. I'm going to have the whole thing, and just this, what you're seeing right here, is actually a pretty calorie-dense meal. So I just put it on my FitnessPal. We're looking at just over 1,000 calories, 120 carbs, 93 grams of protein, and only 14 grams of fat. So this is definitely gonna take up a good chunk of my macros, but it was cheap. I think it cost me $7.50 for everything you see here, so you can't really beat it. So appreciate you guys watching, as always. In the meantime, stay big.